It's interesting what you were saying, the tide of the Sabbatians, because I had forgotten about them. There are some that say that that's Kabbalistic in nature, but I didn't want to. I'll be quiet and
I
yeah.
think it's all linked, man. It's all linked.
Oh,
Yeah.
show us your art piece first, and can you turn your phone?
I can't made it, so
okay.
Well, let's just say this without getting the gentleman flagged. You're familiar with Carmelo Anthony?
Can't say that.
Yeah.
Not the basketball player, the other one.
The other one.
You know?
I know. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I can't say much, but it's let's just say a piece of excrement that stabbed a lighter kid in the heart. So it may or may not be him looking like a Cannibal Corpse album in terms of what's being done to him through a video of mine on BitChute.
Right.
But we'll leave it at that. And of course, we know that those ilk are the puppets of you know who. But I will be quiet, gentlemen.
Excellent. All right, man. I appreciate that, though. I appreciate that. That's cool.
I think all I'm gonna say is I think Elon was spurging because he's got Asperger's and he was in a bitter emotional fight and he posted the truth. I think he posted.
Oh, I don't think he was lying about Trump being in the Epstein files, but I actually don't believe that that Trump took part in the Diddy style parties or fiddling with children. I think he may have flown on the Lolita Express, and he may have been to parties with that dirty little Stein. But
if you're right,
listen, there could be some photos. There could be photos of me in parties when I was in my 20s and early 30s. There could be photos of me taken with fucking criminals, right? That if I were to become a politician,
I have posted many a photo of myself with criminals throughout my entire life, but none of them are a goddamn pedophile. All right?
No. What I'm saying is, they just happen to be. I just happen to be at the same place or in the same area.
I never happened to be around a pedophile and gotten myself.
No, How do you know?
Because
how do you know?
That's where I'm at with it, Richie. How can we say a lot of these things without any firsthand knowledge and then spread all of that hatred? Are we any better than these people if we're doing those types of things?
I don't murder and rape kids. I am definitely.
But it's okay. It's okay to say somebody's a pedophile without evidence. That can ruin a man's career, his life, his family.
Okay, I just said I agree with Elon and that I've seen like the freaking flight logs many years ago when they came out and Trump's name was 7 times on Lolita Express and there's pictures of him. I believe what Elon's saying. That's all I'm saying. And the fact that he's controlled, he ran on a no war policy and America first, and now he's literally got the world into the break of fucking World War III. Why would you do that? It doesn't make sense.
I think the thing with him and Elon was a publicity thing.
I don't know. Elon had a black eye, got beaten up, got thrown out, lost power. Now they passed the big bill, and now they're into World War III. Like that's something like Kash Patel, like his entire career. Epstein was murdered. He did not hang himself. Like Dan Benigno.
I made a video of this, Bernie.
And then what happens? Did you see these eyes? Like the devil's fear of
Bernie. I made a video about this, right? So imagine you join an organization, right? And the boss says to you, dude, if you get caught, and especially if you're going to speak, you've committed suicide. You understand? You basically committed suicide if any of these things happen, right? So with that in mind, Kash Patel and Bongino can sit there and say he committed suicide, right? Because with that in mind, it's double speak.
It's in their eyes, man. It just play the side-by-side videos, the emotion, like the death of soul versus the passion of honesty and fire. Like, you just got to play the videos against each other.
I think
Are they a couple witches conjuring up spells?
No,
Yeah,
it's like the honest emotion of like when they're campaigning, when they're like actually on it, like they're how they spoke up until they got into that moment of power. And then they spoke like in the power still, like they were acting it out. And then it's like a month ago, there was just this switch. And now we're on the brink of World War III.
I can't disagree with that. That's why I've really
Iran has shut down. Okay, like fill up with gas because it's going to get really expensive soon because Iran has shut down the Strait of Hormuz. They've blown up oil tankers there. Currently, the U.S. is trying to evacuate its Fifth Fleet headquarters in Bahrain out of the Strait of Hormuz because they are about to get bombed because they want to bomb Iran. Like, it's so insane that, like, just
right. I'm not, you know what I'm like about scripture.
Help humanity.
You know what I'm like about scripture, but there is something in, I think it's in Revelations where they say there will be wars and rumors of wars, and I think their biggest tool, the tool that they use the most is fear. So
I do have fear of getting like taken off the street by a van and forced to a front line when martial law is installed, like it is in Ukraine. That's like, you know, like that's been going for a while. Like,
yeah, it's been going on in Ukraine, but it's not going to go on.
Yeah, but Canada, the UK, they're literally. Have you seen the laws that have passed lately? Have you seen like that 3/4 of our like money has just gone, and our weapons all gone to supporting this war in Ukraine? Like our standards of living have all gone down substantially since this has started for 3 years, and everything cost has gone up, you know, for three. Like, it's insane, and now we're literally on the brink of all-out World War III. It needs to stop, or like, you should have the fear of World War III.
I mean, I'll be honest with you, dude.
Yeah.
I think we've been in World War III since 2020.
Yes, but it's been isolated.
It's when it
actually breaks out. Like when America is declared war on Iran and Russia and China ally with it, all of us people in the West are going to be forced to be the soldiers that the Ukrainians now are. So we need to understand how absolutely insane this is and how much there needs to be pushback.
Right, but I definitely don't. I don't think fear is not something. That's not healthy. Not healthy.
Not live off of it, but like not let it
just
happen.
Be aware,
you know, like
right?
Still live your daily life the normal way, but it's like pay attention to what's happening because it's insane, man.
Fucking bullshit war. It's distraction, and there's new troops now. It's all Cold Wars. Yeah, well, I mean, the technology, this drone war.
So don't get me wrong. Have like your faith in God and life, and sure, you die, whatever. It's all God's plan. But I'm just saying, like,
dude, listen, I'm watching
pick
a movie.
Up a gun. Just there you go.
I'm watching a movie, right? I'm watching a movie, and until I walk out of my door and look either way and see either troops on the streets or martial law, up until then I'm watching a fucking movie, and I'm just careful not to get too emotionally invested in it.
You know Ryan Upchurch, Richie?
Say again?
Ryan Upchurch?
No.
The musician? Musician.
By the way, yeah, MCM has got a point. Out of all of us, Bernie, you're the only one that's going to have to worry about getting conscripted.
Yeah. I read that, and I was like, yeah, all right.
Hey,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's why I have the fear of conscription in me. Yes, I do.
Ryan Upchurch is a
And that
country.
Canada is completely owned state, and it's retarded. And
Yeah. Well, it's a captured state.
yeah,
It's
we're captured. We are subservient, captured to both the UK
Right.
and America.
Yeah,
So I am
America,
doubly afraid.
Australia,
we're all occupied.
the
All right.
whole
And I'm
world.
also afraid
Whole
because
Commonwealth.
from Russia, the nukes have to like fly over Canada. So I'm like, that's where they're going to get intercepted. And it's like, yes, that's why I have a little bit more fear in me, I guess.
Well, what I was going to say, Richie, is
What about just
Ryan
concern?
Upchurch
You have just
released
concern
a-
as opposed to fear.
Hang on,
Sorry.
Yes,
Mike,
exactly.
sorry.
Concerned. I am highly, highly concerned. I am not afraid yet. I can still
It's just
sleep.
a nicer
But I am
spell.
concerned. I am
Five
very
speed.
concerned.
5 speed.
Somebody,
What you said?
Sorry,
what I was saying was that Ryan Upchurch, he just released a song. I don't know what the name of it is, but he basically talking about how Hollywood and America is kind of one, and we're basically living in a movie.
Yeah.
He just released that yesterday or the day before. It's a pretty cool song.
If you've got a link, you can drop a link in the private chat, and we'll have a little look.
But it's not just now. Like we've been living in a movie ever since its inception.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Hollywood.
And also,
I mean, look at James Corbett's last thing with the Gutenberg conspiracy and all of that, right?
Right, and this, I think this is important as well. If people go back to like those people that were old enough to remember the war in Iraq, late 90s, and then obviously afterwards, 9/11 and everything. What they were talking about the whole time was we need to capture the hearts and minds. We need to capture the hearts and minds. Capture the hearts and minds of the people. Shock and awe to capture the hearts and minds. Right? Because that's key. That's fucking key. That's the only way that they can make what they want to manifest actually become.
That's the permission
if they
part.
capture your heart and your mind, and you're invested in what they're telling you to invest in, and you're
if you've given permission,
you're giving but investing heart and mind into it, you are giving permission to that reality. So that's why I say again.
Apologies. I'm gonna chill out because I got a little heated there because I seen the news of like the updates, and I was like, oh my god. But all right, so I'm gonna go have a cigarette. I'll come back, and then I'll show some more alchemy, and I'll actually show what people can do themselves of how you can make your own monoatomics very safely with only a few dollars of materials. And
right. Can you do it with batteries? Do you need to plug into the mains, or
this one right here is with a battery. You just need a AA battery or a D, anything. And I'll actually show some models I've made that you don't even need a battery. All right. So, and then I'll explain the technology that I've actually discovered.
I threw that in the back.
Process that, yeah.
Hey, excuse me. Sorry, gentlemen. 007, I subscribed. Before the young man steps out, I kind of want to show you guys, man. I don't want to get you flagged or you boot me, though. Are we allowed to show some art that might be a little bloody, or should I just not, eschew doing that?
I want to see it, dude, but
I'd say no, just because it goes against the rules.
Oh, that's all right. Don't worry about it.
Throw your backdrop up, look at it, and make your decision from there.
Is there a back room in this?
It's all right. Don't worry about it. Yeah, you're talking about ICBMs and all. That's interesting. So this is basically a really hyper skeptic show, correct? Would I be correct in that ascertainment?
Well, you'd be right, and so everything. I completely oppose all official narratives. I don't believe any official narrative of anything that they've given us is all bullshit. They're
usually the official narrative the exact opposite is its intent, because it's like, right? But that said, I believe on the scientific method and doing it myself and questioning everything and doing my own research.
And that's why I've got so much respect for Bernie, because he does. He is a scientist in that respect. He actually conducts experiments himself.
Alchemical.
You're not talking about Bernie Sanders.
No. This is Bernie Kronkin.
I felt you talking, guys. I had to do that. Yeah, you know what's so sad is that there's essentially no way to approach this insofar as utilizing like the logical, syllogistic, scientific method without people already having such preconceived notions. If you question what the government tells us, if you question religion, and I won't get in this one, if you question race and IQ or other things like that, if you question the big Z, the L'chaim, right? If you question any of it, you're automatically racist, bigot, homophobe, transphobe, and conspiracy theorist, nutcase, schizophrenic, Ted Kaczynski. Meanwhile, remember, some of us are old enough to remember, so I'm a bit buzzed, you know. I'm a bit of a degenerate. But remember, with Iraq, Nancy Pelosi, George Bush, Hillary Clinton, everybody, left and right. Yes, we need weapons of mass destruction. We must take action. Here, sign this. Sign Patriot Act. And that was the precursor. You're right. They could have shoved it on us, like Russia back in the day. But then I think they learned more from the Stasi after the Iron Curtain. You know, the East Deutschland, East Germany. I think it was disbanded in like the late 80s, early 90s. Where the Stasi had more a-holes snitching on each other than the NKVD, than the Cheka, than the Geheimstaatspolizei, than all that combined. But anyway, gentlemen, I'll be quiet again. But yes, you're a nutcase. You're crazy. Well, what's your evidence? What's your logical delineation of this? Because I don't know, man. This vaccine's only been out to the public for, what, a year or two? You're in a hurry to jam it in your arm? Why won't that a-hole Bill Gates jam it in his arm? Why won't that a-hole Obama, give his kids that? Why won't Trump's family take it? Oh, but you want me to take your experimental vaccine? You know, yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
And same with the technology, right? Like the CEOs of the technology. Why aren't you giving this to your kids, right? Yeah, it's just another form, but it's done in so many different forms. But it's also like, those people who are reacting in that way are at a really basic level of they've only just taken that little bit. Like, I believe in that leader, and so that leader does the thing. So I don't have to look into it now if you take what's given to you like that. So the people that haven't taken what's given to them, you know that they've gone past that, at least, right? They've broken past. And usually you go through a few of those, and then you don't give a shit what anyone else thinks about you too, because, well, how can I, you can then define someone else at what level they are in and what they are going to do, what their behavioral pattern is, right? And that's what they manipulate.
But sir, it does become, as you know, it's so sad that it's like those that do more of the intellectual trench digging, so to speak. I mean, whether the actual conclusion they, arrive at is necessarily demonstrably, provably true or not, but typically it will be, but not always, right? But just the fact that somebody says, okay, look, I have information here. The secondary, or, the opposing side says this. I'm going to weigh both of these. I mean, to do that, it doesn't matter because, you're already a nut job. You're already a conspiracy theorist. You're already racist, transphobic, a heretic, Islamophobic, whatever.
Which is the belief which allows them to not listen to you.
It's the perfect.
So I don't even have to listen to whatever you've said. I can ignore it.
It's the perfect time to play this. Let me just play this.
The following directive was issued from party headquarters to all communists in the United States. It read, when certain obstructionists become too irritating, label them as fascist or Nazi or anti-Semitic.
What?
In the public mind, constantly associate those who oppose us with those names which already have a bad smell. The association will, after enough repetition, become fact in the public mind.
Fascist.
Fascist.
Fascist political party. Radicals on the far right. Anti-Semitic.
Anti-Semitic.
Xenophobic.
Transphobic.
Uncle Tom's
white supremacist.
Domestic terrorists.
Neo-Nazi organizer.
Nazis.
You are an anti-vaxxer.
Anti-vaxxers.
Racist.
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 Racist. Whoa.
Emotional, damn it.
Emotional damage. I love it. I love that. That's a great clip right there. And you got to add into that. You got to edit in. Oh, can you hear me? There we go.
Yeah.
Frozen. Okay, you got to add in Himmler's talking about repetition enough times of a lie, and it becomes the truth. You got to put that clip.
Not him. No, it was Goebbels. It was Goebbels.
Yeah, Goebbels. Yes,
yeah.
Goebbels. Yeah,
Also,
you got to put Goebbels clip in with that.
That's a good Goebbels one, and I'm new, so I'll shut up and know my place and stay out of your conversation inherently. But how about what our great a-hole of a friend Stalin, who I would argue was a way bigger a-hole than another guy with a mustache that I won't mention.
They all were. They were all
right.
owned.
Yeah,
no, politics. They're all politics. They lie, they're ticks, and they're parasites. So
yeah, but wait, but what did he?
Lenin was fucking worse, wasn't he?
I'm gonna answer your question. Stop flipping the coin of the duality of which side's eviler and whatever. It's like it's all wrong, and it is the control system. So don't put your energy into it.
Well,
right? Hold on. Throughout all of history. So.
All right, hold on, man. So sorry, hold on. I just want to say real quick, and I'll let you reply. I just want to say what he said was that what better, or actually, I think it might have been Lenin. My bad. That might be stupid of me.
Yeah,
but anyway, it was that what better way to basically crush the opposition than to build it ourselves. Might have been Lenin. That might have been stupid of me because I'm drunk. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
All good, but it's a good point, and it's like whether it's Russian or American, Israeli or Iranian, whatever side, it's like no, the elite, like you don't put your time into it, whether it's Republican or Democrat or whatever.
Two wings of the same bird.
Just divide and conquer. So you got to put your energy into finding your own solutions. And one thing you can do, I can show right now on here if you want to make it larger, Richie. And so this was taught to me by a third generation nuclear scientist physicist of Iran. His father at one point was the head of Iran's nuclear program, but that was back under the Shah before the revolution. Anyways, Mehran Kesh, and he calls it the cup of humanity, but really it is the ancient alchemical the chalice or the cup of youth, or the fountain of youth, essentially is the water that it produces, which is the ionic silver and gold, and it gives you the mana, the monoatomic of the element. So what's the one, whatever the golden chalice thing was called. But the point being, if you have a container that was pure gold, and then you suspend with two wires another piece of gold or silver that then goes down into that water liquid, you've created a differential for the electrons to flow, and the Holy Grail, yes, thank you, the Grail. So the Grail cup, anyone that has a silver cup, it has to be pure silver, right? But you have that silver, a silver cup is a Holy Grail just as well, and a fountain of youth just as well, because you have two, and you want to use like copper probably to connect them. But if you have gold wire or silver wire, that is best. But you have to make sure if it's copper, it never touches the water. Otherwise, it'll probably oxidize.
Battery, like a cathode and anode. Sorry.
Yeah, yes, exactly. So the self-organization and duality will create a differential of if you put well, for instance, the chalice versus the coin that's in the center, the chalice is a much bigger mass, so it will become most likely the anode, and then the little
cathode,
coin will become the cathode, right? And so the cathode battery was what will produce the hydrogen, and off the anode, which is the decay in the reaction, the sacrificial anode, that is where you're going to get this white monoatomic of the element. So in this reaction, this is what he calls the cup of life. There's the zinc right here, and then there is a nano coated, so you have to either use a caustic solution on the cathode side of what you're making, this little coil here with the wire. But if you have silver wire, you'd use that, or gold wire preferably. But you use copper. If it oxidizes and turns blue, that becomes diatomic and it's poisonous. So you can only use it then as a disinfectant water when like cleaning your sink or bathtub or something like that. But when it is white, when it is the pure monoatomic, and this is single atom zinc and copper, it is the base of it, and those are just as healthy, and especially as I've shown with my experiments with the agricultural alchemy, where I've been using the water to grow on my garden, and that I usually get 2 to 3 times the size of, well, it's not usually, it's every time. I've documented it now 3 years in a row. On the side of the garden where I'm using the water, the ionic water from this monatomics on the plants, that literally the lettuce, the Swiss chard, the peas, the carrots, and the beets, all actually, I can bring up a picture and show it if you give me a moment. I've done it 3 years in a row. That then the water, plant watering the side with the ionic water, 2 to 3 times the size of the plants. And when compared to the other half of the garden that I'm just using the same original source of water, the tap, to water the other half of the control of the garden, of the size of it. Here we go. And then there was the 1 year that I used an actual bit of the gold and silver actual monoatomics on one lettuce plant, and it grew to 6 feet tall. And we literally, my dad was so like impressed, because it was like twice a week he'd eat a salad off of just this one plant. That he got his retired agriculturalist like career friend that came and like took pictures of it to like post on his forum, because he was so mind blown. But hold on, I think I have a picture. Why doesn't it have the full garden?
YouTube just rejected my comment. I was just saying about Stalin, because they're talking about Stalin in the chat, and I just said they turned on Stalin once he served his purpose. They turned on him and basically murdered him.
Are you OOH?
Yeah, as they always do.
I subbed.
I'm 007. Yeah, man.
Double, my bad. Hey, real quick,
okay.
This guy's actually pretty erudite, you know, a little long-winded at times, constructive criticism, but I understand, mate. What's interesting is that the anode is positively charged, even though they leave the device, whereas the cathode is negatively charged and they enter. You might have said that, though. But real quick, what was the independent versus the dependent variable in your experiment pursuant to the greater growth? That's what I was wondering. I'll be quiet after this, mate. Sorry.
Can you explain that just a little bit more, the question part?
Oh, no, just so the dependent variable versus the independent variable in your experiment, like the dependent, what you could help. So I guess that would be, you know, like
the growth rate of the plants. Richie, if you want to share, I got the photo up.
Oh, yeah. I remember when you started doing this, man.
Right, so here we go. There we go. All right, so on this side you can see smaller lettuce, smaller Swiss chard, and then on the back way larger. Oops, but I gotta get.
So the larger growth is the independent variable. It sounds like.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Well, it's dependent. So here you can see the lettuce much larger compared to, and yes, they're all starting to, this is towards the end of the summer where the seed starting to shoot up, or it's not the right term, whatever it is.
Sprout.
They go to seed. But spurt, there's
Starting to sprout.
That's your mind.
Over here, this kale and this kale got the ionic water compared to this kale and this kale that did not. You can also see, like, so this one's taller because it's going to seed, but that there's still much smaller leafed, tinier lettuce compared to what's in the back.
Do you remember the thing with the, basically you put antennas up, you put rods in the ground and the coordinates.
Electrical culture.
Electrical. That's it. Have you tried that? Have you got any?
A bit, and yes, it really does work. There's a couple of ways.
It's yield, doesn't it? Increases yield and decreases the parasites that live on.
Absolutely.
It's a pretty garden.
So here you can see how tall the beets are as well, compared to the front.
Sorry. So again, I guess I'm looking at this a bit more too because I'm buzzed right now. The dependent variable is like predicated on the independent variable. Like it's the thing that happens that depends, but you can't really change it. So it sounds like the bigger growth that you got with ionic, or right, ionic.
So I got larger, consistently larger yields with the plants that were getting the ionic water versus just the regular tap water.
And an ion is just
negatively ionic water, which is made from the ormus. No, it's ion. So it's not. It's ionic, which means it is the monoatomic. So like the ormus. No, it's actually neutrally charged. It's that the valence shell, the outer valence shell of the ion itself, so the single atom, thus the monoatomic, why I call it the monoatomic, or single, whether it's single molecule or single atom, is that here you have, so they refer to ionic water. A lot of times they mislabel it as colloidal water, but in fact it is ionic. And that is the metals that are dissolved into the water, just like salts or sugars or any crystals dissolve in. Off the anode side of the pure metals. Yeah.
Sorry, just to clear up, so ionic, I had to look for myself to relating to or composed of using ions. You look up an ion, that is an atom or a molecule with a net electric charge due to the loss or gain of one or more electrons. So that's not neutronic, would it be?
No. So neutral. So you're absolutely right with that definition. The difference is when it's in the water dissolved, it is then neutral. When it is in distilled water. Okay. So it's that outer valence shell, rather than having a plus or negative charge on it, it is in fact neutral, and it is bonded in with a water molecule. And that's what's making it this ionic state. And that is what makes the ionic water the most valuable and magical in the sense of the fountain of youth, when you have it super saturated with ionic gold and ionic silver. But in order to do that, you have to have the pure gold metal anode and the pure metal gold or silver anode as well. Like when you're making, whether it's, because when I'm making and calling it the ionic of that specific metal, it's because I'm only using that pure specific metal as the sacrificial anode that is going in and dissolving into the water itself, the distilled water itself.
I think that's an interesting word you just used there as well. Sacrificing the gold.
Sacrificial anode. Yeah. Well, and that's the actual scientific term, because it literally breaks down. And then in that reaction, you're also breaking the bond to get it to dissolve into the water. An atomic hydrogen that goes up, and you actually see it sparkle as it forms. It has this cavitation and it bubbles up, this little nano hydrogen bubble. And then on the anode side, you'll also get a second one of the metal sacrificial anode, like so for zinc or for gold or for silver, whatever metal you're using, have an oxygen chemical from that water bond with it and go down and give you your diatomic oxide of that metal. And then on your cathode side is where you will get from whether if it's a copper cathode or a zinc cathode, gold, silver, whatever you're using, you'll have a hydrogen compound, and often with an it will just be a hydrogen compound of the metal that will form a nano layer on the outside, and that is why there's always this layering of they call the calcification, but it isn't really calcium. It's
hence
a
the
hydrogen.
residue. Sorry,
No, the rust is the oxide. It's actually a deposit and growth on the cathode side, and it's a hydrogen compound, and usually it turns red, and it's this red. And what I'm about to say next, well, it's nuclear physics, and it's why it's so worried and why they don't allow it out is because this is where you will get a formation of deuterium and tritium of the metal that is that cathode reaction side, and that right there it's absolutely true, but you have to have the right fields and densities to get it at a sustainable, usable rate. Right. And that is something that I have engineered to a very, very high degree, and then I have also figured out and stabilized the decay rate when I dry them out.
Sorry. I have to interject. I apologize. I promise I will not do this afterwards, gentlemen. So, listen, you're a very erudite young man. You're very smart. You can pontificate endlessly about mostly factual things, and you did it in practice, which is much appreciated. May I give you some constructive criticism, despite being
always. Yes, please.
Yes, sir. What I would just say is I'm sure everyone here does appreciate the interstitial definition, and I was asking and looking up myself, and that's good. I would just say, if you're going into a dissertation, fine, but I would just say maybe break it down a little more simply, a little more rudimentary, and a little quicker. That's all I would say. Like, you did a good job overall. You're saying that utilizing
deuterium and tritium are by chance.
I just know nuclear essentially starts with plutonium. And
everyone should be taught it in chemistry, and if you look at, I can actually I'll bring up the.
No, it's fine. That was just my one criticism is that
ask questions because I need to explain it, and so deuterium and tritium, they are what is used to dope a metal, aka enrich uranium or plutonium, or make them nuclear active, aka producing nuclear fuel, as well as very, very dangerous, even making it yourself retarded, because you'll probably give yourself radiation poisoning and die. I don't recommend anyone do it.
Then you'll be the IQ of Tyrell.
This is why I'm never going to conduct any of these experiments, man. I'm not.
No. But so what I'm talking about is I've engineered this stuff for 10 years, done tens of thousands of experiments, figured it all out on my own, and realized, oh my God, I have come across the holy grail of meta materials and nuclear materials, and understand how it's all so simple, but there's so much to it. It's nanotechnology, it's plasma technology, it's nuclear chemistry, and it's so much more. So there's hydrogen fuel, but Sorry,
You
yeah,
just-
it's not
you
the
just need-
holy.
sorry, you-
the
you-
Holy Grail is the gold one with the other gold going
Okay.
into the two coins. All right,
you
so
just-
sorry to miss.
Sorry, you
what
just
I
need-
should
you
have
just
said is
need a way- you just
Pandora's
need-
box. This
You
is
just need a way.
Pandora's
You just need a way of stating partitions of that more concisely, because you're very smart. It does sound a little boring sometimes and lose people, though. Like I understand you're clearly
Have
more
you heard of
erudite.
the like Nephilim or Anunnaki?
The I mean, we're talking about mythological things now. You're talking about science. We're talking
very
about
real.
That's
yeah.
arguable. That's arguable as to whether they're mythological or not.
I'm
That
just,
is
I'm
right.
just saying. Look,
I
you
would
just need
disagree
a
with that,
spokesman
but
or
yes,
a speechwriter
they are
to
in the
just
myths and
cut
legends.
it down a little. Like, get to the point. You know what I mean? That's just my 2 cents. I'm sorry.
So
Continue.
have you heard of monoatomic gold?
I mean, I have gold in my teeth permanently. I have a copy. I have about like $1,000 in gold. Not a whole lot, but you know.
You know,
if
so
your gold turns
monatomic
blue, it's
gold.
going to poison and kill you. So you have
Wait,
to be
before
careful.
I answer that question, no, hold on. Before I answer that question, though, mate, do you understand my critique of you? Is that you're a very
Absolutely.
smart
I'm trying to figure out what points you would like me to better explain.
No.
to you.
That's all. I just sometimes I'm new and I'm nobody. I know, but like
Exactly. I
just
want to fill you in
sometimes
here.
go,
Most of the
wait.
class
I
understands
was
most
talking. Hold on, man. I was talking. Hold on, man. I'll let you talk. All right. Reciprocity. Yeah, you understand. What I'm just saying is, if there's a 30-minute lecture, no problem. Whatever these gentlemen want, it's the mate's channel. He could do it. I'm just saying, for your sake, you're a very smart young guy. You're very erudite. You're very incisive. Just sometimes you don't need to go on and bloviate for 16 minutes past what should have taken 30 seconds to 2 minutes. That's all I'm saying. Break it down sometimes and take pauses. You know what I'm saying?
I'm going to stick my oar in now. I'm going to stick my oar in as the channel owner.
Sure.
This is so Bernie's streaming to he's actually streaming to more channels than I am. Bernie's streaming to two Facebook channels and 2 YouTube channels. So I am kind of giving him I'm giving him the floor basically. I will say a lot of it, Bernie, flies over my head. It flies over the top of my head because I don't have any practical experience in conducting these experiments. If I were to have practical experience in conducting the experiments, it'd probably mean a lot more to me. But I also see it as extremely valuable information, and there might be someone out there that just comes across my channel that understand what's being said, and a lot of the time, those people that do understand, they're lurkers that don't comment in the chat. They're the viewers that don't leave comments. They just go away and digest the information. So I do appreciate Bernie's scientific perspective and input. But I mean, I see what you're saying as well. I'm just trying to
get a few pictures together here, because this is a good point, and we're gonna break it down.
I'll probably
I'm going to get several pictures together to explain, demonstrate what I'm talking about and how anyone can reproduce it. Specifically, I'm gonna.
He's a nice guy. I'm not saying he's trying to be an asshole or anything. I don't think that. It's just that sometimes
nobody should be using uranium for the record.
And brevity is just one of those things that it's like if you're going, because then you start sounding autistic or elitist or gentrified.
I'm definitely a little bit on the spectrum.
It loses people, man.
I
could talk about logical.
I'll just say, Revler, I'll just say, I appreciate what you're saying, but Bernie's an old friend of the channel, and, most people know what Bernie's like.
And I like you, man. I'll stay subbed. And I didn't say the N word. It's difficult for me not to. I didn't say it. And
anytime you have a question, just ask the question. Don't be afraid.
No, it's fine, bro. I'll see you guys. Bernie, you're a smart kid, man. Like I said, just take it from the sales scumbags like me in insurance. Sometimes rudimentary, sometimes quick, sometimes the long way dissertation. That's all, man. I'll see you guys, gentlemen, later.
Gotcha.
Good day, man. I'll see you guys.
This is not a pitch. I am not selling anything, but when I do, I will take that into very high account.
He is a new to the channel, new to the panel, first time up. And I appreciate it, man. I appreciate him coming up and joining and being polite, and
absolutely.
Yep.
he was brutal.
All right.
I love that shit too. I
Straight
love
to the
that.
point.
Like people
me
being
too.
honest. God bless them, man. Fucking great.
So where were we?
Truth can be brutal.
I am thirsty. I know that much. I am thirsty. So I mean,
Coffee time.
It can be coffee time, or I can leave you guys to it.
Yeah, let's do a coffee time, and then when I get back, I got some pictures to show of like. So when I freeze the ionic water, yeah,
Wow.
this just to
Up,
make
man.
you think of it. It's structured water, and that it always does these fields with the bubbles, and it literally structures and demonstrates the continued. Oops. Oh, sorry. All right. Well, that's just a tease for now. I'll actually give you the 3D image when we get back, because it's wild, and there's a lot more photos I will share. But yeah, water. I'm thirsty. Got to refill up the ions.
That's really interesting, man. I'd like to see actually from the side what they look like if they're layered. One, you know, they're obviously layered one above each other, aren't they? So, right, coffee break, peeps.
Right.
Roll them if you got them. Smoke them if you got them.
Roll them.
I got it. I got the photo. We won't leave people. Or do we leave them hanging, or so they stay for after the coffee break? Yeah, we'll leave them hanging. But I have the photo loaded. Well,
jumping the shark.
Right. It's going to be. Hang on a second.
You can flash it. Give him a tease. You can flash it up for half a second.
Cliffhanger.
Bum bum bum. All right, you got. All right, you're mesmerized. I've got more. I've got hundreds of them.
That's cool.
But yes.
All right, I'm going to have to make a fresh mocha pot. My mocha is empty. I'm going to have to make a fresh pot. That means it's going to be at least 15 minutes, guys.
I have to, great, because I have to hand grind my coffee at the moment. The grinder broke. So.
Oh my goodness. I'm going to make
Though.
both of you very jealous, and that I'm going to pull a little bit of an almost elitist move, but I'm working for a guy that owns a coffee
on my espresso
factory
machine.
that he does his own organic import and then roasting and all of it. So it's like I just got a nice bag of pre-done coffee. So
nice, man. I can't say I'm not jealous.
But I have been laboring my ass off, doing all sorts of labor to get that coffee. So
fair play, mate.
Work for good.
Gold, man. Gold. That's gold.
We will be back. Keep your eyes peeled.
See you soon.
When we relate to each other with attentive and generous gaze, Simone Weil said, attention is the purest form of generosity.
Celebrate good times. Come on. Let's celebrate.
Just imagine, I could have just dumped in the same bog as Eric Clapton, or Mick Jagger, or Lemmy, or Ozzy Osbourne. Who has been here? Bananarama.
Something's in the water, I think. I think it's in the water, and it might be the same shit that's turning the frickin' frogs gray. You know what I mean? You know, Alex Jones reference?
Yesterday I was eating some lunches with my friend Scott. It is Mexico food. It is good. And then as we're doing it, eating it, Scott say, "Oh, I should be right back. I must drop some kids at the pool." He say. Scott have a family. He's like he's like a bachelor. He has a bachelor pad and the bachelor furniture, and he's ready always just with the ladies. No one knows one lady. He's always like different. And the kids, he have many. He have not say anything to me. And now here, as we do choose some burritos, he go to, where is the pool? We're like middle of the Stripsy Mall, because he returned it in like 5 minutes. He is return. He's a little more with sweaty and is looking happy, but I did not ask of children. He, of course, it is like a secret. He have not tell to me. So, and the children, they enjoy to swim, but who now watching him? The kids. Who's watching it, you kids? Scott is not. Scott is eating the wet burrito here.
How come you pulled me out? You're in a fucking time loop, mate. Hey? You keep erasing your memory somehow and reliving the same experiences over and over again. I don't fucking remember being in a time loop. Yeah, because you keep erasing your memory, I just fucking said. Oh, yeah. Oh, you really don't remember, do you? But then you got yourself stuck in a fucking time loop in that universe, so much that you forgot what you even fucking are, cunt. And what exactly am I? No, you're just a fucking observer, mate. No way. What? Is that what I fucking think it is? Yeah, nah, fucking everything's possible in the multiverse. I gotta fucking go in and fucking ask a question. Yeah, do it. Alright, I'll be back. Oi! What shape do you reckon your Earth is?
The fuck? It's flat, you weirdo.
Ah.
Yeah, pretty sure it's a flatty.
Sorry, I full thought you were going to say something else.
What? That it's fucking round?
Yeah.
Do I look like a fucking idiot?
No, it was just a social experiment question. I didn't mean anything by it.
Look, I'm not one of them fucking stupid round earth pufferfish motherfuckers, alright? Been flat out all morning catching these 3-metery flatty fucking dogs. The last thing I want to think about is my flatty earth being fucking round.
Alright.
What shape's your fucking planet?
Oh, the planet I usually go to is round, and there's some people there that reckon it's flat.
I don't want to hear it, mate. If you ain't going to help me catch any dogs, I don't want to fucking talk to you.
It's about duality.
Well, I'm all about duality.
Well.
I'm sitting here singing about some garbage. I don't know what to say, I don't know what to start with, and I don't even know how I can really write a song. I don't know how it goes, and I don't know what is right and wrong. Now I'm sitting here singing about some garbage. Don't know what to say, I don't know what to start with, and I don't even know how I can really write a song. I don't know how it goes, I don't know what is right and wrong.
That's a joke, boy. You missed it. Went right past you. You gotta keep...
It's a weird, creepy, weird devil. The dude is not a human like the rest of us. The dude is a hybrid. He's like Lucifer from the show Lucifer. He's a creep. He's a weirdo.
Right. Back again.
All right, we're back. So round two is going to get real esoteric and real woo-woo out there.
Right.
Which is a perfect time because it's Woo-Woo Wednesday. This is episode 1.0 of the day because I got a second full woo-woo episode tonight with Mike Forrest of Alien Carvings. Have you guys been following the alien Oopart artifacts out of Mexico at all?
No, I haven't.
It's pretty freaking wild.
And I just want to say quickly, Dana, love you, thank you. Yeah, I'm honestly, I'm paying more attention to what's going on geopolitically than to the other stuff.
Well, let's not live in that fear, and let's.
No, I'm not living in fear. I'm just, like I said, I'm watching the movie. I'm really like, entertained by what's going on. I'm not because I'm not buying
it's the end of the world, and we're watching it on TV. Now people are here for something else.
Yeah, man. So the esoteric side of it, like I'm the conclusion that I've reached, that I articulated yesterday in my video about, you know, this guy Chris whatever his name is, the 200 IQ smartest man on earth.
I don't believe
that. I think we're the fact that we're all living a subjective experience of what would be an objective reality. We can't get away from it and can't ignore it. So it means I'm trying to appreciate everything, you know, trying to appreciate that the fact that in other people's mind's eye, this universe is completely different to the way I see it in my mind's eye. And the way I see it has helped me cope with what's happened over the last 20 years or so, like my car accident and everything. It makes sense that in one version of reality, I did actually die, but my consciousness continued in the timeline of somebody else that knew me. Somebody, you know, like somebody, I exist. We all exist in more than one reality. I exist in every reality of everybody that, you know, interacts with me or whatever. I exist in those realities as well, but it might be a slightly different version of me. And their reality is a certain.
What you just said, Walter Bosley. Do you know who Walter Bosley is?
I think I've heard the name.
Awesome guy. He's got a channel. He's former special Air Force investigator, former special FBI agent or something like that for a while. But he does a lot of stuff with Joseph Farrell, and his girl partner now is like a remote viewer. I've interviewed him several times. They're into like the megaliths in America, and he's investigated like lots of the UFO stuff and throughout. Point being, he spent some time in Iraq, and he swears to God he died in a shootout in like Fallujah or something, and then got transferred over and is like, just like you said there, in like another reality, like body in this exists. Like there's a lot of people out there that feel the same.
It explains why why when I woke up from my coma, once I'd gone back home and I was able to really take in what was going on, I felt like I was in a parallel universe because nobody else has the same perception as me. Like, so my consciousness was recognizing the universe in a certain way. I leave that vessel, go into a different version, like maybe my sister or my mum or someone close to me, you know. Maybe it's the closest person to you. It's their reality that you go into. And I went from a reality that was 60% positive, 40% negative, to one that was 70% negative, 30% positive. Like a much more pessimistic look at the world, basically. But it helps to explain that, because other people's versions of reality are different. Everybody's mind's eye picture of what's going on is different.
And your whole perception changed. Like that's when your world crashes down. Moments like that where you have to then rebuild your world again, basically.
Yeah.
Right. I think that's pretty much what they call the night of the soul sort of thing as well, right? That's what they're referring to. Those
the dark night of the soul thing.
Yeah, you end up questioning yourself, which is great. Like, people think questioning yourself is wrong. No, it's awesome. You know.
I think it's where everybody actually has to start, naturally has to start, because the only thing that you can change is yourself. So in that sense, you have to question yourself. And then once you know yourself,
but it's like what Campbell talks about, where it's the statue and you're chipping away at the statue, but it's like the situation or whatever just took a whole big mob of chunks away from the statue. Right. It's getting more raw. And then you basically have to rebuild your reality again. So what are your foundations, right? And then you're building from something. But like for me, like I had to get rid of all of those beliefs I built up to get back to that. It was a massive amount, right? We don't even know how much we just create beliefs on the spot for things, right? And then they go subconscious. And then so that's when it goes subconscious, that's the choice you've already made. That's the choice you're trying to understand now or whatever. It's something you've already made a choice, but you're just not aware. You don't remember it because it's subconscious, you know. And that's a duality split, right? That's your conscious being split, right? To be here, we have to experience limit,
right?
That's all we're experiencing, right? But you know, I don't like the false fucking limits put on us, right?
Right.
That's like caveat, you know, like, yeah, it's all good. There are limits,
like bending those strings on that guitar, but also within those limits of bending those strings, you know where the breaking point is, and you
innately know whether it's in tune or not as well, right? But that's a limit as well, right? But that's the limit, the natural. That's the nature. That's nature's limit, right? That's what we're in tune with or out of tune with, right?
See, I look at
like when you hear music and it clicks in and it follows the rules.
So here's the thing. Here's my thesis, and it's right. They've taken us as out of tune with reality and nature as possible, and tuned us into the cartoon reality that is the spell of Hollywood and this projected negative.
One example. That's one example. You're right.
But, and that but what's going on?
I say they've done this on so many levels, though.
You review that song. It explains that.
Light of the sun, new sun, this white pulsar sun, it's raising the energy of Earth's resonant frequency, which is the Schumann resonance, right? And that it was during World War II that they took the entire harmonic resonance system, the oscillating vibrational music system, out of tune with 432, which is natural and that resonates in with the Schumann resonance and everything else. And we started broadcasting out of nature's octave frequency and on this distorted octave.
It's also Schumann resonances with an S.
Yes, exactly.
That's a spectrum. Yeah.
Yes, right. And so as you keep seeing the Schumann resonance rising and spiking more and more as the sun is getting more and more active, and then we're seeing all of a sudden where, oh, the northern lights, that's not northern anymore. That's pretty close to the equator. Oh, it's going on for weeks. Oh, it continuously goes on. Oh, the sun cycle. It was supposed to, the sun, according to the sunspot 11-year cycle, with 2023 being the supposed, should have been the last reset, we should be in a solar minimum right now. That's why there's this big debate. And they're like, oh, it's going to reset any year now. It's begun to shift its poles again. Now it's a slow process. No, it would shift freaking overnight at the end of its 11-year cycle. That's how it did it forever when it was a yellow dwarf sun. And we are now three cycles in of the sunspots going into a even larger solar maximum with auroras and energy blasting non-stop, and it only continues to do so. And they predicted, oh, our magnetic field's gonna collapse, blah blah, but it hasn't. It actually has done the opposite, and it goes boom and bangs on, and it repulses this increased energy away and saves us. And it's because we also are, and that's, you also see these huge Schumann spikes at those exact times. And it's bringing protons, it's bringing hydrogen, and then you see more rain coming. And it's like, again, the age of Aquarius has begun. We are in the 5th age of the sun.
I think they're helping the rain thing. I think that they are helping the rain thing by seeding the clouds with silver.
Well, no, it's physical electrochemistry, nuclear electrochemistry of the particles coming from the sun are actual protons, and that they get the electrons around. That's what you see, the ionized gas of the auroras as it comes in, and then it's like, oh, it's always raining and cloudy now. That's literally where the clouds and where it's coming from, the proton, which is hydrogen.
Captain Proton.
Guess they didn't like that.
You got it.
Well, I'm a lighting guy, and I don't even believe in fucking protons and shit.
Well, no,
protons, electrons, and neutrons.
Yeah, but
it's the Tron legacy, right?
Whatever the fuck it is, it turns into hydrogen that then turns into H2O.
Well, that's it's difficult to explain because it's a wave, right?
Well, so I have this thesis. It's called
what do they actually say? What's a proton? A packet of waves. Like, well, come on then.
Well, it's more than that. Though. That's their current
a lot of science is junk.
But it's actually it's a field established from a coherent combination of standing
You're already
waves.
saying a field is not a proton. A field is not a thing.
No, it is a proton. So this is the misconception.
It's not a thing. No, proton is the definition of them saying it's a thing.
Let me explain.
I don't agree with that.
It is the misinterpretation of the wave particle duality experiment of that a particle is
of which the observer.
I think it's also. I think it's also a limited vocabulary, right? I think it's a limited vocabulary.
So
that we're made to use words that conjure the incorrect images.
Oscillation rate.
If the observer changes the reality, then your beliefs, right, have a huge say in what you see, in that outcome. Then, right? If you have a false dichotomy, that's what you'll see, or even a dichotomy.
It is a field of standing waves.
What are you saying though, Bernie?
These are one of the fundamental
things. A particle is consisted of what becomes a physical field, a volume of standing waves, the waves that are coherent and standing in their positions, that are the ionic valence shell.
So what you're saying is it can push something in the real world.
So you're
in
absolutely
material world.
right that there might not be this proton, this neutron, or this electron particles. Actually, you're
Yeah.
absolutely right. Sorry, yes, 100%. That
Right.
yes,
But
that is
what
a
you're
key
saying
part
is
of
it
it.
pushes
That,
some,
no,
yeah.
it's charges. It's 3 charges. You're absolutely right, and that there's the neutral mass, there's the positive mass, and then there's the negative electron. And it's their orbitals within. But that when you understand that a particle consists of these coherent standing waves, and it's literally how the energies and the shells of the atoms are built off of and connect with other atoms and molecules in their covalent bonds, and
Then we
how
go
things
into atoms.
crystallize, solidify, and go out of a liquid or a gaseous state or up into a plasma, the largest
thing at a time.
outer
Yeah.
valent
Dana,
shell bond, but it has to be ionized. So it has to be a single atom, but it has to be a solid, and then that other
Tron legacy.
outer state has to be activated. And when you do, you have light, you have heat, you have energy, and that
I
is
just
the
want to say,
plasma. And you also have consciousness in that as well, right? You look at
Well, all we can really
I-
say is,
can I
like, we're
hang on,
talking
can I
about
speak?
energy.
Can I speak, please? Can I speak? Dana, we're not in the Twilight Zone. We're in the Bernie Zone. This is Bernie Zone. Welcome to the
It
Bernie
still
We're
Zone.
all in the spectrum right here, all right? These are just
this
these
is
are
where
spectral opinions.
I like getting scientific, man. I'm not a scientist. I'm a philosopher. So I enjoy the science.
when I-
Come on.
So I've delved deep into
You are
the
everything.
plasma as like from ball lightning, and then in the scientific community, when you recreate it, it's called EVOs, EVO, exotic vacuum object, and it's from John Hutchinson's production of them, and then Ken Shoulder's study of it that this term came out, and then adopted by Bob Greenier, the head of the Martin Fleischmann Memorial Project, which I work with and do a lot of streams. He is basically the head top cold fusion and plasma fusion experimental academic. He now, finally, they've let him publish scientific papers for the last year, and I'm going to be meeting with him at Tesla Tech this year, where I'm going to be reproducing 2 types of this plasma cold fusion, demonstrating it. He's going to be taking samples of it, verifying that we're transmutating hydrogen into helium, as well as we're able to acoustically transmutate aluminum into physical iron, and that I've got the stabilization of the fields methods down, because the big problem was with this octave or harmonic phase shifting transmutation of elements, solids. But so like another example, the famous one of lead to gold, but it's not just lead. There's also a major part of it is tungsten, and which that you use lead as the anode decay factor, and the tungsten has to be in the crystalline outer tungsten shell as your cathode. But the thing is, when you get monoatomic lead, you will easily poison yourself and die. Like, it actually does have a radiation breakdown decay aspect.
Lead is just
What I'm
depleted
saying here is-
uranium. Lead is just depleted uranium, isn't it?
Well, you're absolutely right,
Well,
but
I thought that.
officially you're absolutely wrong. So what is amazing with what you just said is you are 100% correct that yes, uranium does, when depleted, break down into lead, and usually it's radioactive. But what I have figured out is the alchemical phase shifting transmutation cold fusion process, and that there's ways of doing it through electrolysis. And what I discovered through Sir Isaac Newton's ancient alchemy writings of the 7 colored states of transmutational metal elements, and there's a lot to it, and there's lots of different aspects of it. But what it comes down to is plasma, which in the science community is this exotic vacuum object that forms, but in the white pure light it has to be, and when it's in that pure form of this white light, then it's like usually this hydrogen is what it comes measures as, but it's a lot more than that, and it seems to also have a mind of its own when it's in this plasma ionized state. But that's a whole other wormhole that we will go down later. All right, so how far down the wormhole are we going to go? This is Woo Woo Wednesday, and it's wild, and I'm going to talk about things that I've never really talked about before. I said that earlier.
Is it Wednesday?
It actually is.
It is Wednesday, dude. Happy hump day to everybody.
Yeah.
Hold on for getting halfway through the week. We've only got another 4 days to go.
I try not to take notice.
What are
So,
your guys' thoughts? I'm going to figure out how I'm going to talk about this. I'm going to go for smoke. But what are your thoughts before I go on stargates and portals?
I think there's something in it. There's definitely something in it, but I think that the language being used is what's confusing people, right? I think that there are energy vortexes.
Yeah, that's a key part of it.
You can create a vortex. It's all about.
The most powerful ones are when the sun and the moon are in like both alignments with the equinoxes, solstices, and full moons, and also, but especially eclipses. And it's why did they do these rituals at their henges that measured and monitored these things, and that they would form and perform rituals in these circles
on these specific energy grid
portals.
Lines. How did they know that the energy grid lines were there?
Because that's how it works, and that's where the heliocentric model of how you form and go through these portals, these stargates, especially on our own realm, is so key, and that is something I suspect.
So is it anything to do with harvesting?
Listen, to cope
that's
with
why they would harvest at certain times, why they do things at the different cycles of it 100%. But
this instance seems to be energy that they're harvesting, though.
It's always, yes, and that is why. And I will. So this is something I learned from you guys' community, and it was flat facts, I guess, but that discovered this. But the arches on every cathedral and most of the main buildings around the world, and all those Roman arches, okay, the sun is perfectly in alignment on those. Those are all astrological calendars. That's what it is. It is the like when they're built, you can see
there's a definite meaning and importance behind it.
Well, no, it's a calendar. You can literally go at the equinox and the sun is in the center, and you can go on the solstices and the sun is in the other arches. That's literally
right. And here in Tenerife, we're Guimar, we've got the pyramids of Guimar that are on the solstices perfectly in line with the sun.
That's what I'm saying. Every church is
right.
Every and it's
they're on cross points.
Well, with the arches, all the arches. Anyone with the arch.
But the thing is, to think the thing is, we're not. But normal people are trying to fit this to the paradigm that they've been given about our history, and saying, well, we were far less technologically advanced back then. So how did we know about these grid lines? How did we know about grid lines?
Well, you just have to go on the equinox, the equinox, the solstice, the summer solstice, which is what 3 days away, or 4 days away,
21st
3 days away. And go check any place that has the arch, and the sun will be setting and rising and setting on the far arch on that day.
But
Check it for yourself.
to actually achieve that, architecture, there has to be a
It's there.
certain
The
amount.
architecture is there. I'm
a-
saying do real science. Put the scientific method to what I'm saying, and I encourage everyone to go around.
You're missing
and
what I'm
arch has
saying.
to be
You're
built.
missing the point. You're missing the point of what
I'm
I'm
not
saying.
telling anyone to build anything. I'm just saying.
What I'm saying is this: whenever these things are built in our mind's eye of how history works, we've got more and more technologically advanced as time's gone on, right? And we're supposed to be cleverer now than we were all the way back then.
Well, they
Yeah,
are.
hang on,
cleverer than
Bernie,
ever.
please,
They're
mate,
still
hang on,
building it.
please. All the way back then, according to history, we didn't have technology and whatever, but we still had the intellect. We still had we were still able to, whatever technology it was that we used to build these arches and have them perfectly in line, because they're only perfectly in line on one day of the year or 2 days of the year.
4 days.
Four. But
Well,
it's
it's not
it's
just
a
4
long
days,
time.
it's more
That's a
than that.
long building time, right? Like, how do you do that? Oh well, let's build it up, right? And we'll wait until the sun gets there, and we'll line it up when the sun gets it. No, it's mathematics. They worked it out mathematically how they're going, where exactly they needed to build it, how high exactly it needed to be, exactly the dimensions of that arch. That's all math.
A lot of engineering, absolutely.
And that's incredibly advanced engineering that we were doing all the way back then, man. All the way back then. So
I agree.
We could. I don't personally think that we've had, because I don't believe in aliens I believe in extraterrestrials, but I don't believe they come from other planets. I think they come from other realities. I absolutely believe, because like I said, everybody's got their own version of reality in their mind's
There's
eye.
my son, Marker.
They've known this. They've known this for fucking forever. They've known this forever. That's why they've always managed to stay on top and in control. The same since that, whenever it was that they instigated.
Oh, you little shit! How did you get out? All right, boys.
They re-engineered the way we think.
Right, exactly. They've re-engineered the way. They've re-engineered the way we think and the way we understand, the way we perceive. That's what I'm talking about. Our perception, our perceptions of this world have been fiddled with. So we're not thinking, or not us, people who are still plugged into the system. They're not thinking. Not because they're not able to. They don't have the vocabulary to describe their thoughts.
Question everything I'm saying. Absolutely.
So anyway, sorry. Continue.
You review that Upchurch song, Richie?
Dude, I haven't, mate. I've been engrossed in the conversation, so I'll have to check it out. If you put a link in the private chat, I'll check. I'll go and check it out.
Sorry about that.
I've just looked at the time, and it's nearly 1:10. So I'm gonna have to shut this stream down in 20 minutes because I've got to go and
just share a couple more of.
I've got to go and sing to the people for this afternoon. My battery hasn't arrived yet. Oh yeah, and just on a side note, you never guess, right? I came into my room last night and I just saw that my fucking laptop charger was broken. It was like hanging out of the plug thing, and it was just broken. The end's broken off of it now, so I've got no way to charge my battery. So I'm just counting on the fact that there's going to be a battery in with this laptop that Leafy sent. That there's going to be a charger in with the laptop that Leafy sent.
Leafy,
because it's a Lenovo charger, it's going to fit this one as well. If it doesn't, I'm going to have to use the other laptop to charge my batteries. But yeah, fucking pissed off, man. How does that happen? I didn't.
There's somebody trying to whip it and it's been attached.
Right? I didn't do it, but I come in and it looks like the cable's been yanked down and broken the end off of it.
No, the Robert away there.
And Dana, to answer your question, I haven't heard from him today, so thank you for prompting me. I'll message him. It's not just him. It's also John as well. John's lives near Haifa, so he's actually probably closer to the trouble than Near is. But I'll message him now and let you know. Right, sorry, carry on, Bernie. Where were we? We have only got 20 minutes, but
okay,
you want
a couple ice cubes, I guess. So shout out to the ice cubes.
It's fucking wind.
It is windy. JP, thanks for muting, mate. Right, have you given it? There it is, right. Just bear with my computer, it's really slow.
So
That reminds me of Dr. Emoto and his freezing the ice with putting frequencies, you know, like telling the water you love it and then freezing
absolutely
it.
the intent, right? But so with this is what my ionic gold water. Sorry, if you want to just put enlarge my screen for a second here, I can.
Say again, sorry, mate. Oh yeah, right, hang on. I can. No, my computer is not.
Yeah, mine freezes all the time too. It's lame.
There we go.
So this, you can see the actual gold powder that's remaining at the bottom. So that's another type of solid gold, nano colloidal gold that was broken down off the anode. And then there's just a tiny amount of the purple plasmid gold left in it, in that bottle. But in this one, there is still a large amount of the purple in here. And these are the water. So the colloidal or the ionic water is this water. That's what I pour into my ice cube trays. And I can show literally out of my drink there that all the cubes form with these exclusion zones and these fields within them with those separating the
layers
coming out, the layers of it.
They're like clouds, man. That's like
it is clouds. It's a little plasmid.
I've actually seen clouds. I'm pretty sure I've seen clouds that look very much like that as well.
And here's another one. Oops, that one's not as much. There we go. That's good. But it's like they all have these triple fields. Sorry, the melting all over.
Right, so they've all right. So they've all got 3 layers. There's none with 4 layers or 2 layers.
There are some with 4, never less than the 3. And then there's other ones that just do straight bolts, like lightning, like a vortex of lightning. Is what the silver does. So the gold does those, and then the silver does the other type that I don't currently have the picture up. It's in another folder. But yeah, they do these different structures every time they freeze.
Anybody know how to make air surface to air missiles? Anybody?
I'll tell you what, though. I bet Bernie knows how to make a cloudbuster.
We're all gone.
That I definitely do. But the ancient wisdom teachers say that you can form it in your mind's eye and make your own cloudbuster too. So
right, and I'm not right. So people think I might just be saying it. I'm absolutely honest, right? This is honest to God. I've done that, and I've looked up at the sky, and I've kind of, and then gone back out later, and the sky's completely cleared, and I've thought to myself, you know, that would be really cool to think that that was me that did that. It might have just been the wind. It might have been the slipstream, and the wind took it all away. But I do like to think that my
But did your mind make the wind do that? And the
I
ancient
don't know.
wisdom keepers will say yes, and trust your intuition. Develop your powers, fellow wizards, warlocks, witches, and Wiccans, you know? We have it all. Just the problem is the duality we live in, right? There is an angel and demon within all of us, and it's which one do you feed? Don't feed the hate, don't feed the anger. You got to feed the love, compassion, and build, right?
Well, actually, I would say
choice.
so. I would say one thing that you can't do is repress the shadow. So you have to keep it in control.
You have to deal with your demons always, right?
You have to keep it. Just stay in control of it. Be aware of it and stay in control of it. And don't feed it. Don't feed it.
Don't feed it.
But it's like you could, because there's such a thing as toxic positivity as well. So, you know, then we come up to balance. Hey, Callum, being balanced, being a balance.
The neutral, the balance.
Do you know what's weird about these fucking lines lately, though? You can see the white stripe going across, but directly underneath it, parallel, there's like a darker stripe.
Right, that's the carbon.
You've got 2 layers of clouds up there. There's multi-layers going on. You see them when they move in different directions.
I've seen them spraying out.
Yeah. Other aspects of that is their freaking harp technology stuff with like.
Oh, you can see that with the different patterns in the waves. You know,
part of it is to help visually dissipate the white as well.
Yeah, absolutely. It is.
To visually help dissipate it and make it blend into the background more. But they're using carbon to do that.
Yeah.
No.
Half the time it smells like seawater and all.
I'll tell you what, right? Every time it's heavy here, I feel it. I feel it. I wake up with gunky eyes. I just. And for the last 10 days,
solar radiation, it makes everyone like energetically drained or charged or like acting freaking squirrely and all sorts of stuff. And it's like, what are they mixing into it to do that? And who's in, like, nobody's in control. It's fucking chaos. They're doing all sorts of
it's not regulated. Shit. It's not regulated, is it?
Exactly.
They've got when you've got anyone can basically go and seed clouds.
Do you think though, if it was regulated, do you not think that would be corrupted and maybe even worse?
Absolutely.
Like all the other
know what's going into it, and how to detox specifically from each thing in your area, right? Because it's like, oh man.
But it is important to understand that
you
it's
need to be aware.
Possible to detox. Your body can sort it all out.
That is what this neutral ionic water literally does. I do believe that is what it does. And again, it's from the neutral fields of the.
Well, that was one reason why I did Ormus, and that was to balance the hemispheres of the brain. That was a major purpose why I did what Bernie's doing. Basically, he does it with metals and stuff. I did it with salt.
The salt is the other aspect of it, and the Ormus of the metals is just contained within that salt. And then when you put the salt back into the water, you're then re-ionizing those Ormus metal elements and
with a spectrum
back in.
With a spectrum,
with the whole spectrum of it, exactly, because it's
start with distilled water.
It is. Yeah, it's whatever's in the salt, 100%.
Yeah, but the process is the interesting part for me now too, because that's the other half. You know, there's the logical side, but then part of that process and how you feel when you're doing all these things is huge, massive, right? You know, and that's kind of the other half of what makes this amazing. This what completes the picture, right? Which is that balance. Always looking for that balance. Or being open to it as well, because we get extremes. They push for the extremes here, so you're stuck on one side or stuck on the other. And that's then playing the game, you know, choosing a side, right? Two wings of the same bird. But wait, you're the bird, so just fucking fly yourself.
The hot and the cold. Last picture I'll show here, and then it's time to go because it is 6:20 a.m. here. That is the red. So this is the hydrogen compound that goes on the deposits on the cathode side, and it is very reactive, and it can catch fire when it dries out, when touches any chemical, and then after you get this, you get gray material and black materials on the cathode side. And well, I'm not going to give away, I mentioned them earlier, but we won't get into the hydrogen isotopes that form off of hydrogen compounds on the cathode side of reactions, but it will all be in my science paper that I will be co-publishing with Bob Grenier and presenting at Tesla Tech in August and Albuquerque, where I will, it's going to be epic time. Get to probably interview Terrence Howard while I'm there, doing a whole bunch of media stuff. It's going to be interesting. Going to be a good time. But yeah, I thank you for having me. And pray for the world. Pray for peace, protest, war. That's all I got to say. If you're going to take a side, take the side of no war. Let's all live in peace. Stop killing each other, humanity. You're muted if you're trying to speak, brother.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure.
Hang on, I'm trying to get ready for work in the background. But I man, yeah, I absolutely agree, dude. Like we're all in this together. The enemy is very clear. It's obvious who the real enemy is. Right? It's whoever it is that doesn't want us lot to work out what the fuck's going on and start sorting it out between us about how we're gonna continue forward. We've still got to let them play their shitty little games. And I personally think we're going to have to wait until the complete collapse of society before we can start to rebuild anything, because these institutions and organizations and corporations are all corrupt to the fucking core. So, yeah.
Yeah. No, said.
I agree.
I'm going to mute up again because I'm just getting changed.
Right. Well, I'll let you go. I love yous and leavers. It's been fucking great again. So I'll speak to you next time.
Much love, man.
You too. Adios for now.
Thanks for joining us, dude. Thank you for being there. And everybody else as well.